Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Let me just peek. Okay, we are recording. Had a look at the little viewfinder, as always, in my super professional chat videos. I'm actually recording this on Friday afternoon. I just did a live stream to launch my brand new watercolor glass class. I know I've been talking about this since January, and it's finally here. I actually went live with it last night and sent out an email and did a live stream today. This is what we painted. Actually, the tutorial is up on my YouTube channel. The first 10 minutes or so are a little rough, so just a little warning. YouTube's always changing things. It's like, why do they have to keep changing things? And I tested it, and I made sure, because they changed, anyway, it's technical stuff. So I plenty of time, made sure that my encoder worked, made sure that the thing would broadcast, checked to make sure my stream was good, shut off anything else that was using the internet, and it's like as soon as I hit the go live button, it was like, you know, abort mission, bad stream, bad stream. I was like, oh man. So it was a lot of troubleshooting the first few minutes, which always feels like hours. You know, the seconds that a stream is like going south, it's like it just stretches on. It feels like, you know, it feels like you're in front of a class when you're in school. It's like you're in front of a class to give a report and you completely have forgotten what your report's about. That's what it feels like when you're doing a live stream and some technical issue is like a problem. Because I do a painting before I do a live stream. I've practiced, I've got everything ready to go, so I don't have dead air. So it really drives me nuts when I have dead air or like awful video because something's wrong with the internet, because I live out in the willy wax and I don't know, I think the internet is run by carrier pigeon out here or something. But anyway, we got done. I had to do a couple adjustments during the stream. We finally got it so that we could get a decent picture out there, but it's so frustrating because it's like, man, I could have just pre-recorded this the first time I painted it and then like done a premiere and still been able to chat with people. Maybe that's what I'll do next time. But people seem to really love live streams, and I don't understand why people love live streams so much, because, you know, so much can go wrong. Usually the video and audio quality isn't as good, and you have to be there when it's happening, you know, if you want the interaction. So it's so funny. I don't really understand why people are so excited about live streams. I want to do them if people are excited about them, but it's yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking when like you're doing it and then like things out of your control are like going haywire. But actually stayed pretty calm and, you know, didn't really get under my skin too much. That's what a vacation can do for you folks. You take a vacation, it's like it wipes away all those little like annoyance vibes you have under your skin that build up over the year. I need to probably take more than one a year so I can scrub out those annoyance vibes. I don't know what they are, but that's what it feels like anyway. So I'm just curious. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like live streams or are premieres pre-recorded? What do you know, what's your preference? I'm really curious. But yeah, so it started off a little rough, so, you know, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes. I mean, it's not as bad. When I go back and look at it, like, I'm just, as it's happening, I'm thinking, this is a tragedy, this is such a tragedy, you know, but then I'll watch back, it's like, it's literally a couple minutes. But then, again, a couple minutes on YouTube time, I mean, people don't stick around for a couple minutes if something's not going right. It's like, you know, what do they say, you got 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention before they're gone. But people did watch. I was happy. I was happy that people gave me a little bit of a break and they watched, because it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. You hate to let people down and you hate to waste people's time. But well, it happened. It happened. You can paint along. You can paint that painting. Anyway, so the live stream, the glass class went live. It's launched. Everything is pre-recorded though, thank goodness, and you know, good quality. I made sure nobody was running around upstairs like elephants, and there wasn't water pumps and furnace, and that's why it takes so long to record a class, because I will let things slide on YouTube, like, you know, people running around. I try not to like have a bunch of extraneous noises in, but you know what happens. But the classes I want to be perfect. I want it to be like crystal clear and you know, perfect lighting, perfect everything, and it takes time. But I'm really happy with how it came out, and the response has been really good. I'll show you the projects. The final, it's 2 sections. The first section, you're going over basic techniques. So if you're a beginner or beginner to intermediate painter, you're taking this class, I really do it in order. And then the final projects, we go over like painting clear glass And well, you can see all this if you go check out the course page. We do painting colored glass, which I showed you a sneak peek of that last week. That was really fun. I think I just try to build and build so like you're seeing all the different type of situations you might come in contact with, so you'll know how to approach it best and you won't be overwhelmed when you're painting on your own. Then we do putting glass in a scene, like doing some frosted sea glass and some shiny glass and something in glass, so you know how to deal with it when you have something behind or inside of the glass. And then this was my favorite. I really enjoyed this one. This was just building up with no masking fluid, no white pen, no gouache. It was just building up to get like a nice sparkle. And that was really fun. That was so fun to paint. It was so fun to teach. And I hope it's going to be fun for the students to paint. So I have 50% off discount for that class. I'd like to give my subscribers and blog readers the best price, because it's so frustrating when you're excited for something and you buy it and you pay full price and then like a month later it's on sale. That's so frustrating, and I don't want anyone to feel that way when they're buying something from me. I want my favorite people to get the best price, you know, so you can use the coupon code SHINE to get 50% off that class for the month of August. That's my launch month special. I do that with my classes. That's how I launch my classes. I give the cheapest price it's ever going to be so that my faithful friends can get the best deal. So there's that. Shameless plug, man. Lindsay with a shameless plug, starting off for Sat Chats. There's probably going to be a zillion ads because that's what YouTube's doing. It's like, oh my gosh, I think because it's an election year and my audience are all like voting age, mostly, I would say like 80% American viewers. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Man, every time I watch something, there's like a Senate race in Maine, and every time I watch something on YouTube, it's an ad for one of the two senators that are running, or potential senators that are running. So yeah, I feel ya. But I'm too cheap to pay for premium. Actually, no, I don't mind. I like to see what people are seeing for ads, you know, assuming I see the same that others do. Make sure there's nothing real crazy going out there. Not that I necessarily would see the same ads, because I think it's customized more to the person watching than the channel they're watching. I don't know how it all works. It's techie. As we've established, I am not the best in the techie department. So fun things coming up. I've been focused the last 2 weeks since I got back from vacation on getting this class filmed, because I've been planning it for so long. I've been kind of laser focused, haven't done much of any other types of projects. So I do have some fun stuff coming up shortly. Like this just came in the mail. I treated myself. I ordered this set of 24 Sentimental oil pastels. And this box looks so small. I was really expecting like a bigger box when I ordered it. It's only 24 colors, but in my mind, like this box would be like, you know, it would be like this tall, at least this tall and this wide, and it'd have big honking sticks of pastels. But it doesn't. But I wanted to try it, and I've wanted to try these for a couple of years. So they were on sale for $45 at Jerry's, and I was ordering some photo paper because I got a new printer. We've had the same photo printer for like 13 years or more, and it'd been declining a bit the last like 7 years or so, and it got to the point where it would only take like really thin full sheet photo paper. It wouldn't even take like cardstock. And so I had ordered these sampler packs from Jerry's with a Soho printer paper, a photo paper, and it was really great. And then I noticed that they were on clearance for $1 for the sampler packs and like $3 for the packs of 20 of whatever type you liked. Not the matte, they were out of the matte. So I bought some more samplers so I could get some of the matte, and they were only $1. And then I bought a few packs of 20 of the heavyweight gloss because my new printer can take that. I print a lot of photos, and so I was happy to be able to get that paper still. It's clearance, so if you want some good paper, photo paper, I highly recommend it. It's such a great price, and they must just not be making it anymore, because Soho is Jerry Artorama's, you know, house. It's one of their house brands, so if they're clearancing it, you can't get it anywhere else. So if you're looking for photo paper, it's a great buy, and I really like it. Even the thin stuff printed really well too. It had really good graphics. And that's all I could print on my old printer. So I'm like, well, let me get the heavier weight stuff and some sampler packs. And while I was at it, I decided I would order these oil pastels. So they were on sale for $45, I think. And I had a $5 off birthday coupon. So I'm like, okay, birthday present to me, since I was in such a foul mood during my actual birthday. This is what they look like. Oh, they're so pretty. Oh, they smell so good. They smell like smell like linseed oil. They smell like my youth. My mother, my parents were, they built homes, and my dad was a contractor at a contracting business, and my mom would do the staining. And so this reminds me of like the smell of like linseed oil. And oh, love it. And they're like, you could get them right on your finger. They're like lipstick. They're kind of smaller than I thought they would be. They're bigger than like a regular like cheapo Pentel oil pastel, which is what I usually use. I'm really excited. They're bright colors. I don't know what I'm going to paint with them, but I'm going to use them after this. I'm going to play with them and do my sketchbook Sunday, which will also be a critique club picture after this. So I'm looking forward to experimenting. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got the assortment because I figured like the landscape or portrait would be a little bit too specific. And I figured if I get the assortment and I love them, then I can always either build on with one of those other sets or get a larger set, or just buy a few individual sticks of the colors that I want. Or just mix them with my cheapos and see how well they work together. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it. They look good. I think they're gonna be fun. And you know, I haven't been like that excited about something like a new product in a long time. And oh, I get to pour over I love it when they put brochures in. You get to look at all the goodies. I don't know. I like to drool over art supplies. I guess I love looking at art supplies. I like using them. I like looking at them. I like going on Pinterest and seeing other people's art rooms where they got all their displayed, their stuff all displayed. Good stuff. I'm very easily amused. And so something else fun that I'll be playing with that I didn't get a chance to share yet are these blending mushrooms from Local King. I'll put a link down below in the video description. But I was really bummed out because I had seen these demonstrated by the owner of Local King Rubber Stamps, Lisa, and I see her demo every year at the West Springfield Stamp Show. And so I'm like, when I saw her on YouTube with these, I was like, or maybe it was Facebook. It was a video. She has a YouTube channel. I think it's just Local King Rubber Stamps. I'll link that down below too. She has some wonderful demos, and she is the nicest person. She's delightful. She's entertaining, funny. You've got to see her in person. She's just a riot. And she was demoing these, and I thought, oh man, I can't wait to go to the stamp show and see her do that in person and play with them and see if I like them, because I do like to ink blend. I love inky techniques and stuff, and this is just something different. And actually, they feel a lot like the material, the sponges, the pan pastel soft tools are made out of, so they might work really well for that too. And she just out of the blue, she reached out to me and she asked if I'd like to try them. So I'm like, yeah, I was looking forward to, you know, buying some when I went to the stamp show and trying them out. And so she sent me these, and I asked her if they can be used for pigment or dye ink, and she said you can. The best for dye ink, if you use them with pigment ink, make sure you wash them when you're done because they can get hard. So that's the only caveat, I think. But I'm going to be playing with those shortly, and they look like fun. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to mess around with. I haven't really done anything other than watercolor since I got back from vacation. And I just did like watercolor on vacation. I brought some gouache, but I never used it. I brought some colored pencils. I never used them. I just used my watercolor, really simple. Because I've been laser focused on the glass class, but I'm looking forward to getting a little inky. And so there'll be at least one or two kind of card making tutorials next week. So some crafty goodness. And I actually have some other news, but I can't share it yet, but it is for all you crafters out there. Something big is coming, and there'll be more on that probably the next 2 weeks or so. Definitely by the beginning of September. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking around. See, oh, you know what? I made a list because I'm like, oh my gosh, let me tell you something. My daughters have gotten the driver's permits now, and so they are driving Miss Daisy everywhere. I've ridden with both of the girls. They did the parent drive, and I rode with Maisie, and Jason rode with Lila. And then Maisie drove me that day, and she did a great job. And then we went down to see my parents, which is like an hour and 15-minute drive, and Lila drove on that. And yeah, they're doing great. They're much calmer than I was when I learned how to drive. They also seem quite a bit more open to instruction than my son was when he first got his permit, because I was nervous. I find the responsibility of teaching someone to drive to be very daunting because I don't consider myself a very good driver. I didn't take to it naturally. I think I'm very cautious, so that's good. But when I first got my driver's license, I would lay like off the road in a snowbank so often. I did not have. I don't know, I didn't have the knack for it. And living in Maine, you have to drive everywhere. And then like, so I got my driver's license in high school, and then I went off to college, and my father wouldn't let me take my car with me my first year in college because he was afraid that, we get, screwing around as kids do. And so like I went like a year almost without driving. And then when I got, because the broadcasting degree that I have is just a 2-year degree, that's all they offered. And then I was working, and I worked at radio stations in Dexter, which is out in Western Maine, kind of near the ski areas. And then I would be out in Ellsworth at another station. I mean, there was so much driving, and I would be off the road all the time, just like sliding off the road in the snow, and or even like dozing, because I'd be working like an overnight shift, and I'd be getting out of work at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and I would just be like, barely keeping my eyes open. So yeah, so it's a very terrifying prospect. Luckily there are laws now where you can't drive, people on new licenses can't drive after midnight or between midnight and 6 a.m. or something. But my kids are good. They're definitely more cautious than I was at that age. I'm cautious now that I have kids. I think having kids makes you way more cautious. But they're doing good, and it's just it's a little nerve-wracking. Kids driving. My son got his license a year ago. And we told the kids they had to put the Life 360 app on their phone so that we could see where they were. And I'm telling you what, that is such a godsend, because the other day we were driving back. I was taking the girls back to school shopping, and we're driving home, and then the roads are blocked off, and I see an ambulance, and I grabbed my phone. I wasn't driving, my husband was driving, and I just like looked up, where's my son, to make sure that wasn't him in an accident. So I mean, that's been really good to, for us, anxious people, to know exactly where your kids are, since they're driving now. And yeah, that's a big change. That's a big change, having having all the kids drive. I mean, the good thing about Jackson having his license is that like I can order pizza and be like, hey kid, go pick up my pizza. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wrote down to chit-chat about. I've had a couple really productive weeks, feeling very relaxed. I feel like a new woman since vacation. I am very happy that I did that. Oh, here's some news. This is kind of a bummer. The person that owns a camp that we've rented from for 7 years is going to sell it. So it's probably our last week at that camp, so that's kind of bittersweet. But I almost had this feeling. I had a very sentimental week. Remember I was telling you I brought some old magazines and I was flipping through them, and I read Fried Green Tomatoes. Oh, I have fried green tomatoes. I have green tomatoes. They're going to be fried, so I'm going to fry them. But my sister had, the kids had told her that I'd read that book and I want to make fried green tomatoes, because I was thinking like, oh, I gotta ask Bri if she has some green tomatoes, because as you know, that side of my family can throw seeds over their shoulders and boom, a garden. But my mother had I picked all these blackberries in my mother's garden. She's like, oh, I don't know where those plants came from. I think I probably just threw some spoiled blackberries out there, and oh, look, a garden. That's how things work for them. They can grow anything. And they had just this blackberry bushes just filled with berries. So we picked a bunch, and I made some jam yesterday with it. They're very good. A little too sweet, because I used they said you should use equal parts sugar and berries, and then I saw this other recipe, and she said she likes a low sugar one, so she does 1 part sugar, 4 part berries. So I'm like, well, I'll go somewhere in the middle, and it was really too sweet. I would have preferred it less sweet, but anyways, there's plenty of berries over there, so I can pick some more if I want to, I suppose. But the kids had mentioned to Bri that I wanted to make fried green tomatoes, so she sent a big bag of green tomatoes home with them, because they went down and worked in my parents' store for a couple of days. And so I'm gonna try to make some fried green tomatoes. So wish me luck. I am looking forward to that, because I read that book. Oh, but anyway, so I was having a very sentimental week because I read that book, and it's a very sentimental book. And I was reading old magazines and thinking about all these old companies and missing the days of old day in stamping and stamp shows and all that stuff. And I was feeling like boy, this is probably about it, because Jackson's going to be graduating high school this year, or next spring, and then the girls are going to be graduating high school the year after. Speaking of, so I probably won't go to the next 2 stamp shows anyway, because they always fall that first week in June, which will probably be graduation weekends for the next 2 years for my kids. But anyway, yeah, the guy that owns the camp is going to sell it. So, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, the reason we rent a camp every summer is so we don't have the headache of the upkeep and all of that, because you can't access these camps all year round. They don't plow the roads. It's very, it's a project. And what I like about it is that we enjoy for a week, and then we go home and we don't have the worries and the, I mean, we have a house, you know, that's enough to upkeep. So it's a little bittersweet. I'm kind of sad about it, but you know, I guess the reason things are good are because they're not guaranteed, you know? Things are enjoyable because they're ephemeral. And I guess the moral of the story is just to appreciate what you have now, appreciate the things that you enjoy, and not to take them for granted, because you don't know if you will have an opportunity again to do any of these things, or you know, it's like if you see something, if you follow a YouTuber, you enjoy them, you know, let them know, and you know, encourage them so that they will keep YouTubing. And I'm not saying this because like I'm fishing for like pity or anything. No, I'm just saying that like, you know, because like sometimes you follow a YouTube channel and they just disappear, and it's like, oh, and then you might forget about them. And then you see an old video and it's like, oh, I remember them. I love their show or whatever. Or you might even be like a TV show, or it might be a magazine. You know, oh, I miss the craft magazines so much. I miss the like artsy stampy magazines and Paper Craft magazine. I love that one. That was one of my favorites. And Scrapbook, etc. That was another one I liked. And Expressions, man, I'm going through some old Expressions now. So good. Such good stuff. So yeah, I was having a very sentimental week, and well, that's life, I guess, right? I think that's about all I have for you today. Don't forget, the glass class is now available, linked in the video description with a 50% off coupon code. And if you take it, I will see you in class. It's a good one, I think. I think it's a good one. Not to brag, I'm not bragging, but I think I did a good job. I think it's my best class yet, personally. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. You've been updated. That's all I have for today, I suppose. Stay tuned, because I will have oil pastel stuff coming up. I'm excited about that. And stay tuned for these little guys. And they have a little holder. Isn't that cute? And there's these, I will show you, they come in these little little containers. They already have a color to them. I think you might be able to buy them individually with like no color, and they come in these, but this is kind of neat if you want to store them. Like maybe you don't want them out because they might get dusty, then they're not going to mess each other up. They can stay in there and stay, you know, keep them from drying out and keep them ready to roll, I guess. Like if you're traveling to a stamp show or something, or to craft at a friend's house, you probably wouldn't want these open in your bag. You put them in here and then, you know, keep them a little bit from messing everything up. So you don't want to wash them. You want to let them stay like your, you know, like any of your ink blending tools. You kind of let the ink stay in there, because otherwise you're just washing out good product that you can keep using. Makes you save your product a little bit more, and they get better with use. The older they get, the more inky they get, the better they blend. So I'm excited about those. I hope you're having a great week. I hope that you are having some good weather. It's not too hot where you are. We have beautiful weather here in Maine this week, and I'm very thankful for that, because we have short summers, so I try to get outside and enjoy them as much as possible. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. Sit out on the porch with a magazine for a little bit and then come back and play with some oil pastels. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next Saturday for Sat Chat, and before then with other crafty goodness. Bye! Happy crafting!